Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. Today guys, we're going to be doing some work on the Ri1000X. Now before we get started, if your unit is on the warranty, please don't forget to call RICOH Tech Support and start a case with them. You don't want to tinker around with the unit and remove parts that can possibly void your warranty. Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at the PF motor error and how to clear that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn our unit off. Now let me go to the control panel and I'll show you how that's done. We're also going to remove this front panel right here. So to get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and move my hoop, put it on top, remove my little hooks here. I'm gonna put them right up here so I don't lose them. And then the next step is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the machine off, okay? All right, everybody, so here's our control panel. What I'm gonna do first is hold down the power button for about 4 or 5 seconds. I'm gonna get a prompt to shut the machine down. I'm gonna go ahead and tap on that icon 2 times. Let the machine turn off, and then once it's off, I'm gonna start removing the front panel. All right, everybody, so my unit is on. As you can see, my screen is turned off. I'm gonna go ahead and start removing some of the screws. I'm gonna start with the ones around the framing here. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, then inside the unit there's 2 more, 5 and 6. Now I'm gonna use a power driver here. I don't recommend using a power screwdriver to do this, guys. You don't want to strip these screws. I'm using one because mine has torque settings that I can adjust. So if you don't have one that has torque settings, I do not recommend using a screwdriver. You don't want to get your DeWalt or your Makita impact and take out the screws because you might damage them, okay? So the screws, I'm going to put them right up here so I don't lose them. I'm going to open up the cover here, and we're going to take off the inside screws. Alrighty, so like I mentioned before, you're going to have 2 screws on the inside. There's one right here and one over here. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push my table in a little bit because there's 2 more screws towards the front that we need to remove. Those are going to be located right over here. Okay, so you got these 2 screws here. Okay, so put on there. Now I'm gonna grab my front plate here, or front cover, and I'm gonna carefully just pull this towards me. Now you guys saw this here drop. So when we put this back inside, we need to get something like a little swab or something to hold it up. Something that goes across both ends. I'll show you that, guys, in a second. Okay, so you got this off. Alrighty guys, so now that we got all this stuff removed, what are some of the things that can be causing your PF motor error? Okay, so one of the most common is going to be some dust buildup on the railing. So you have some rails right here where the table assembly slides on. And if you look at your unit when it's open, you see this crevice back here. So dust kind of tends to fall in there, or lint. So then that builds up, and what's happening, it's slowing down the table enough that the sensor, which is located right here, it's not recognizing this table coming out within a certain amount of time. Now, another thing that could be happening, the sensor could have gotten knocked off by, for some reason the unit was being transported and this thing got knocked out by accident. Also, if your unit was in an area like a warehouse or somewhere where rodents can get to it, rodents like to bite cables, so your cable might be damaged. Now, there's another sensor like this one way in the back, okay? Now for that one, you need a flashlight to get back there. But there's one more sensor like this way in the back. It's always recommended to check the cables first, make sure they're not disconnected, make sure you look back there. None of them look big, like something bit them. The next thing would be to look at your railing here. And what you want to do is you want to get a little lint-free wipe. You want to go ahead and wipe that railing down. So you want to go in there as far as possible. And you want to wipe that down. As you can see mine here, it's not too dirty. We are in a warehouse, but it's pretty clean in here. So you want to go ahead and clean that off. Next, you want to get some of your some of your RICOH grease, and you want to add some little dabs here. Not too much, maybe like 2 or 3 little pea-sized dabs of grease on there. And you want to go ahead and with a little swab or your finger if you like, you want to work that grease onto the top part of this railing. Okay, so you just want to add it on there. You don't want to put too much grease, guys, because you might get some more dust and then build up on there, but you do want to put a little bit of grease on there. Now once you have that all greased up, what I recommend doing is bringing out this table. Now you don't want to pull on this hard because there is a belt down here and it's attached to this pulley. Underneath that, where it connects to the bottom of the table, there is a clamp on there. Now if you pull this too hard, you can damage that belt, or that clamp can break and you'll snap the belt off there. Okay, so you want to be real careful when you're doing this. You don't want to put too much force. It does have some resistance to it, so just carefully bring this in and out. Make sure your machine is off. I like to do this about 3 or 4 times, and then once I do that, I want to push this all the way in, all the way to the very back, and then I'm going to turn my unit on. Okay, so now guys, I want to show you guys how to put this back together. So the first thing we're going to be doing is putting back our front panel. So here's my panel right here. I'm going to make sure we slide this on here. There we go. So you guys can see here, that base is underneath my cover. Right here. It's down there. Okay? Should be up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this forward a little bit. I'm just going to grab my screwdriver here. Grab the end of this, since it's long enough. Put it right in there. And I'm going to slide this back in. Now towards the inside, you guys can see right in there. You can see how this cover is going to overlay on top of this one. Okay, so we're going to lift it up a little bit and just make it sit on top. Okay, once I got that in there, I'm going to go ahead and remove my screwdriver bit. Take this off real quick. Okay, sit right there. And I'm going to get my screws. I want to put my screws in loose at first, guys. You don't want to tighten them all down yet. You just want to put them in there nice and loose in case you need to shift the cover a little bit to the left, to the right, or to the front. Just want to put those in there nice and loose. Let me get the rest of my screws from in here. Okay, again, guys, you guys can see here, I'm not putting them in all the way yet. I'm just kind of gently putting them in there. Now, the 2 inside screws are these little small black ones. The ones here in the front are the longer black ones. And the ones that go around are just these nice chrome ones. Alrighty guys, so I got my screws in there. I'm just going to bring this camera back a little more so you guys can see where all the screws are at. Okay, so right there. So now that I got my screws in, we're going to go ahead and tighten these screws. Again, I'm going to start from the top here. I'm going to tighten this screw down, so that's 1. And that's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, and 8. Once again, guys, do not use a power tool. I am using this one because I can adjust the torque setting on this. Do not grab your DeWalt or impact hammers, screwdrivers, and tear these things apart. So be real careful with those. Alrighty, guys. So after we got that back in place, we're gonna go ahead and turn the machine back on. Now we want this grease to work inside of the bearing and onto the railing. So we want to make sure we have our plan or table come in and out a couple of times. So to do that, you would go to your screen and you would press set so it goes all the way in, and then press eject so it comes back out. And you want to do that a few times just to kind of work that grease on there. After that, you guys should be good to go. If you do have any more issues with it or it's just not clearing, go ahead and call RICOH Tech Support so we can assist you on looking at some other items. Maybe it can be a sub-control board or the sensor towards the back of the units. We'll go ahead and put a video on how to check that and how to remove the rest of the covers to get to the back of that. That's going to be on part 2. All right, thank you guys for joining us today. Please, again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give us a like, leave us a comments, share these videos, and we'll see you guys next time.